I was thinking the other day as I observed emotions, negative emotions being evoked in an individual. Anger type frustration. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about controlling your emotions. And I think I do control my emotions. And I would say that I have been controlling my emotions for long enough now that it is not a big challenge for me to control my emotions. And specifically, I'm talking about anger, frustration, things that are going to make you lash out, things that are going to make you clench your fist, those kind of things. I've been controlling those emotions for long enough that I've got some methodology behind it. I also got to see many times people, and I still get to see people that lose their emotional control. They get angry. Look, people get sad sometimes. And, just to start this thing off, I'm not saying emotions are bad. That's not what I'm saying. Before you freak out, I'm not saying emotions are bad. Emotions are good. Emotions make us human. Emotions are part of life. They, in fact, in many ways, they are life. So I'm not saying emotions are bad. But allowing emotions to dictate the way you're going to behave, allowing emotions to drive your decision-making process, it is not going to help you. So here's a couple things that I have in mind that kind of flow through my mind when things are happening that could cause emotions. And basically, I barely even get a little blip on the radar. I get a little blip and it's already, I go into this mode that I'm about to talk about. The first one, I automatically think, hey, whatever I'm hearing right now is probably wrong. The reason I know that is because on the battlefield, first reports are almost always wrong. Whatever I'm saying is probably not right. Gotcha. Whatever someone's telling me, whatever I'm hearing, whatever I'm seeing, it's probably not right. It looks bad, but it's probably not that bad. The reason I know that is because on the battlefield, you're going to get some report that comes in and someone's panicking. It's going to sound horrible. And it's probably not accurate. Doesn't mean you dismiss it, but you don't get emotional. You don't get emotional because you're dealing with some other people's emotions. Because when you send me a report back from the battlefield and you just got your Overwatch position just got shot up, you're freaking heated. We just got shot up. Okay. Do I immediately send the QRF, the quick reaction force? No. I go, hey, Roger, give me a little bit more detail. What's happening? So I'm gonna not get emotional. The reason I'm not going to get emotional is because I can almost guarantee you that the continued amplifying information that's going to come my way is going to mitigate some of the problem just by nature. The second thing that I kind of think about is whatever is happening right now, whatever I'm hearing, whatever I'm seeing is not final. A lot of people jump to the conclusion of whatever's happening right now is the ultimate atrocity situation, the disaster, the catastrophic scenario. That's what people immediately go to mentally. And for me, things never seem catastrophic to me. Ever. Almost ever, right? Look, can you have a cat? I'll tell you, there was an explosion up in Maine, up in Farmington, Maine, at one of the factories up there. Not an Origin factory, thank God. But there was a massive, massive explosion in a mill. And I talked to Pete. Pete called me and he's like, dude, this thing is gone. Like the factory's gone. And I just knew. So something like that, I know immediately this is a catastrophic situation. Whoever was in there is dead. This is horrible. And so, but that's very rare. Even in my military career, like, hey, this is what happened. A vehicle gets hit with an IED. Okay, there's a chance it's catastrophic for sure. But if my immediate response is emotional, when chances are, okay, we're going to get more information. We're going to find out exactly what happened. My emotional response is not going to help me make good decisions. So So I don't think catastrophic out of the gate, because that doesn't help me process what's happening. Doesn't mean I dismiss it and think it couldn't be catastrophic, but I don't focus on the catastrophicness of the situation. By the way, if it's catastrophic, guess what? It doesn't matter. You've already missed. It's already gone. It's already catastrophic. So you can't take that back. So getting emotional about something that you can't take back is not going to help you move forward right now, because those emotions aren't going to help me make decisions. My viewpoint is that if I lose my temper, it's weak. And seeing leaders when I was a kid in the SEAL teams, seeing a leader lose their temper and just looking at them in a like a demeaning way of patheticness, like, wait a second, you're getting mad. That's what's happening. You're going to yell and scream. And I just remember seeing that throughout my career, but especially when I was young, I see some leader yell and scream and just think, this person is an idiot. So I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to yell and scream. So that's another thing I kind of run through my mental checklist. I don't want to give you control, by the way, Echo, over what I'm doing, over what I'm thinking, over my emotional state. So you come in and you say something, and I don't want to give you control over my mental state. So this is another little mental check. I say, wait a second, am I really going to let Echo make me fly off the handle right now? That's where I'm at? No, I'm not going to do that. That's a bad move. It's kind of a pathetic move. So we're not doing it. It doesn't help for me to give away my position. Leadership, strategy, and tactics. What gives away my position? My emotions. You come in and you say, I don't like the way this plan is looking, and I immediately get mad. I'm giving away my position. I don't want to give away my position, because once I give away my position, now you know where I'm at and I can't move anymore. So when someone would come with some idea to me, or come on some attack me about something, you'd never be able to tell that I was even remotely frustrated by it or angry or whatever. I'm just sort of like, hey, well, give me some details on that. Not, look, do I do some reflect and diminish? Yes. I just act like Mr. Robot. No, and I'm not saying act like a robot. But I'm not going to get overly emotional in these situations. And so I guess those are kind of some things that go through my mind, that have been going through my mind for a long time, starting when I was a young SEAL, realizing that watching a leader lose his mind and get all mad, and realizing how weak and pathetic that was, and how the level of respect would go down, made me realize getting emotional is not good. Now, like I said before, this doesn't mean that you don't have emotions, and it doesn't mean, this is even more important, doesn't mean that you don't put emotions into the calculus of what's happening. Because if you're getting emotional about something and I say I don't take that into account, I'm going to throw things off. Here's a great example. When Mark Lee got killed, Ryan Jobe got horribly wounded, and that was with Leif's platoon, Charlie platoon. On the other side of Ramadi, Seth had his platoon, and they had an operation for that night. And I talked to Seth and I was like, hey man, you're good to go for tonight. Meaning he was thinking like, hey, he was thinking, hey, you're going to stand down because we had a guy, Mark got killed. Where are we going to stand down for a couple days? Are you guys going to come over here? We're going to do a service for him. Like, what are we going to do? And I just said, hey man, you're good to go for tonight. You can go and conduct your operation. And Seth sent me there's this thing called Webby, which is like a way of communicating. It's basically like a little chat room. And he's like, hey, negative on the mission tonight. And I was like, no, hey, you're good to go, man. You're cleared hot. Like, you can go. And he's like, negative on the mission. And so I was like, no, bro, I got, you got authorized. We're good. I talked up the chain of command. We can still execute this thing. And he called me. He was like, bro, we're not going out. And I was like, well, you can go. He goes, hey man, if I take the guys out right now, it's going to get bad. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. We just lost one of our guys. You put the boys out, and they're gonna be too emotional. So I had to take the emotions of the situation into account. And if you don't take the emotions into account, then you can end up in a bad situation as well. So it's not that emotions should be ignored. It's not that you shouldn't be emotional, but you need to have control over your emotions. That doesn't mean you shut them out. It means you have control over them, and you account for them, and you put them in the calculus with other people and with yourself.